Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be positive. I mean, after the match, I definitely was struggling in the locker room. Yeah, I think for me, the main thing, I'm sure my team and everyone's gonna tell me like, you did well at Roland Garros. So I'm like,
What happens when a 20-year-old tennis champion decides she's had enough of being treated disrespectfully on national television? She doesn't discuss it on Twitter. She doesn't cry in an interview. She files a $50 million lawsuit that could change sports media forever. Most athletes would never dare do what Coco Gauff did. She looked at one of the biggest sports networks in America and said, "You crossed the line and now you're going to pay for it." And I mean $50 million in accountability when I say pay.
I think being an athlete, people kind of disregard that side of us, the human side of things. And, people say so many things like, number 3 in the world and you're doing this or you're playing like this and you should be better and things like that. But like at the end of the day, like I feel like I've already, if I stopped and didn't pick up a racket tomorrow, I have a career that so many people would dream.
This isn't about a terrible call during a match. Unfair rankings and tournament drama are not the issue here. This is about a Fox Sports host who believed he could destroy a young woman's career on live air and then pretend nothing had occurred. He was wrong. Completely incorrect. Because while everyone expected Coco to shake it off, maybe post something inspirational on Instagram and go on, she took the opposite action. Fox Sports is scrambling more than a player running down a drop shot after she collected every clip, word, and hurtful remark and turned it into a legal weapon.
But I think I just showed people what it's like to be a human, and I have bad days. But I think it's more about how you get up after those bad moments and how you show up after that. And I think today I showed that I can get up after feeling the worst I've ever felt.
The question is not whether she was entitled to file a lawsuit. The question is, why did it take this long for an athlete to finally stand up like this? More significantly, what was said by the host that caused such harm that it is currently valued at $50 million in court? This is what happened, and believe me, every detail makes it more powerful. It all started during what should have been a typical sports broadcast. Fox Sports was covering the Miami Open, conducting their usual pre-tournament analysis, breaking down players and matchups. But then one of their hostesses decided to go off script in the worst way conceivable. He became personal rather than evaluating Coco's performance, serve percentages, or tournament prospects. Quite intimate. He questioned whether the media's exaggeration of her achievement was real or not. He said she wasn't mature enough to play professional tennis. The part that truly went too far was when he said that she didn't deserve the praise she had been receiving and that her accomplishments were exaggerated.
But I felt with a new perspective, seeing how the support I've gotten since that moment, just seeing how proud of people are of me, regardless of how I do here. So today I felt a lot lighter going on court, and I hope to continue feeling that lightweight for the rest of the time here.
Take a moment to consider that. A grown man on national television with millions watching decided to publicly question whether a Grand Slam champion earned her accomplishment, not her plan, not her backhand technique, and not her athletic merit. The way he stated it made everything worse. There was this condescending tone, this dismissive vibe, like he was doing everyone a favor by exposing the truth about Coco Gauff. It wasn't an analysis. It was a character assassination disguised as sports commentary. The broadcast continued as nothing occurred. His co-hosts produced forced laughs, tried to move forward, but the damage was done. In a matter of minutes, those words were filmed, transmitted to homes all over the nation, and circulated on social media.
Matt.
After everything that happened on Thursday night, did you wake up feeling a little differently yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I just realized that I don't want that moment to happen again, like on court for sure. And yeah, I'm not someone who I don't know, I don't want to show I guess weakness in moments, but after the match I was thinking maybe it's not a weakness, it's just showing the things that happen in my head and not keeping it inside to the point where I can't play.
Fans who were watching live immediately started screen recording. Twitter blew out. People were incensed as clips of the segment appeared everywhere in less than an hour. Not just Coco's followers, but tennis enthusiasts in general, sports journalists, even casual watchers who could detect something was well out of line. This commentary wasn't difficult. This wasn't keeping an athlete accountable. A young black woman who had already established herself on the biggest tennis stages was the target of this hit job. However, Coco remained silent while the internet was going crazy. No immediate response, no impassioned post, nothing, and that silence, that was strategic. You must comprehend Coco Gauff's true identity in order to comprehend why this case is so significant. This isn't simply another tennis player whining about negative publicity. Since she was 15 years old, this person has been burdened with expectations. In 2019, Coco made waves at Wimbledon by defeating Venus Williams in the opening round. She was 15, a teenager taking down a legend on one of tennis's biggest stages. From that moment, the world couldn't look away. She became the youngest player to qualify for Wimbledon in the modern era. All of a sudden, everyone had an opinion regarding her future. She had already won a Grand Slam by the age of 20, achieved a ranking in the top 10, and developed a brand that other athletes worked for decades to build. Nike, New Balance, significant endorsements, millions of followers. Her visage appears on billboards and magazine covers in addition to tennis courts. She's not only an athlete, she's a business. And this is why the Fox scenario is so harmful. Coco's reputation is her cash. When a significant network query whether her achievement is real, they're not just bashing her. They are endangering her means of subsistence. Legitimacy is paid for by sponsors. Fans support genuineness. When someone with a microphone implies it's all manufactured, that affects contracts, opportunities, and her entire career. Criticism is nothing new to Coco. Too young, too emotional, too much pressured, she's heard it all, and generally she handles it with wonderful grace. She lets her game do the talking, stays focused, keeps winning. So why did this time hit different? As her performance had nothing to do with this. Her right to be where she is and her character were being attacked. And that happened on national television where millions of people formed their opinions based on what so-called experts tell them. Coco came to a critical realization. Staying silent wasn't strength anymore. It was permission for others to determine her story, and she wasn't about to let that happen. The moment those clips hit social media, all hell broke loose. Hashtags like Respect the Game and Defend Coco began to trend globally in a matter of minutes. Not only were fans angry, they were furious. But here's what made this distinct. Other athletes started speaking up. Serena Williams posted a message of support. Naomi Osaka called the comments despicable. Multiple WTA players shared their own stories of being humiliated by sports media, turning Coco's moment into a movement. When athletes openly defend each other like way, it signifies something serious just happened. Because players remain impartial for the most part. But this was so apparent, so plainly wrong that staying quiet felt like being complicit. One viral tweet caught it well. Imagine being 20 years old, already a champion, and still having to prove you deserve respect. That's what female athletes deal with every single day. It got retweeted hundreds of thousands of times. Think pieces were written by prominent sports journalists. ESPN commentators called out Fox on air. Fox was accused by rival networks of putting shock value ahead of journalism. And Coco had yet to utter a word during all of this turmoil. No Instagram stories, no tweets, nothing.